Competence is your power. It is the foundation upon which success, confidence, and influence are built. It is not something you are born with. It is something you develop, refine, and strengthen over time. If you want to stand out, to make an impact, to create a life of excellence, you must become undeniably competent in your field, in your craft, in the areas of life that matter to you. Competence gives you an edge. It makes you valuable. It ensures that when an opportunity arises, you are ready, not scrambling to catch up. Too many people operate at a surface level, never diving deep enough to truly master anything. They dabble, they try things for a while, and when they don't see immediate results, they move on. But the people who truly excel, the ones who become irreplaceable, are those who commit to mastering their craft. They're the ones who study longer, practice harder, and push through frustration until they reach a level of proficiency that sets them apart. Competence is what builds confidence. Think about it. When you know you are good at something, you carry yourself differently. You speak with certainty. You move with decisiveness. You don't hesitate or second guess yourself because you have put in the time, the energy, and the effort to become truly skilled. Confidence without competence is empty. It's an illusion. But confidence backed by real ability, that is power. That is when people listen, when they trust you, when they see you as an authority. The path to competence is one of discipline and dedication. It requires a mindset shift from seeing practice as a chore to viewing it as the key to unlocking your potential. You must be willing to put in the work, to do what others won't, to go beyond just knowing something and move into a place of true mastery. This means deliberate practice, not just repetition. It means actively looking for ways to improve, studying the best in the field, breaking down their techniques, and applying them to your own work. Competence also requires patience. Mastery does not happen overnight. It is built over time through thousands of small improvements, through countless hours of refinement. Many people give up too soon because they don't see immediate progress. But those who persist, who embrace the struggle, who push through plateaus, they are the ones who come out on top. They understand that every mistake, every setback is a lesson that brings them closer to excellence. They seek out those who are exceptional. The more value you can provide, the more influence you gain. When you are truly great at something, you don't have to chase opportunities. They come to you. It gives you leverage in a world where too many people settle for mediocrity. But competence is not just about technical skill. It is also about adaptability. The most competent individuals are not just experts in their field. They are learners. They are constantly evolving, staying ahead of trends, and adjusting to new challenges. The world is always changing, and if you do not commit to lifelong learning, your competence will become obsolete. This is why the best of the best of the best never stop growing. They read, they study, they train, and they push themselves to stay at the top of their game. Competence also demands resilience. There will be times when you fail, when you feel like you are not improving fast enough, when self-doubt creeps in. But those who become truly great are the ones who keep going. They don't let failure define them. They use it as fuel to get better. They are willing to be bad at something before they become great at it. They embrace the discomfort of growth because they know that on the other side of that struggle is mastery. If you want to be competent, truly competent, you must immerse yourself in your craft. Study the best. Practice with intention. Seek feedback, refine, and improve every single day. Make excellence your standard, not just something you occasionally strive for. The moment you commit to becoming truly skilled, your confidence will skyrocket, your opportunities will multiply, and your ability to make an impact will expand beyond what you ever thought possible. Competence is not just power. It is the key to everything you desire. Being dangerous is not about recklessness or aggression. It is about becoming so skilled, so prepared, and so confident in your abilities that you are unshakable. It means reaching a level of mastery where no obstacle, no challenge, and no competitor can intimidate you. It is about becoming someone who commands respect, not because of arrogance, but because of undeniable competence and presence. When you are dangerous, you are a force to be reckoned with, not because you harm others, but because you have developed yourself to such a high level that you cannot be ignored. To become dangerous, you must first recognize that mediocrity is a trap. The world conditions people to stay comfortable, to play small, to blend in. Society tells people to be safe, to follow the conventional path to avoid standing out too much. But the truth is, if you want to succeed, if you want to make an impact, if you want to create real opportunities for yourself, you cannot afford to be average. Average people are replaceable. Dangerous people are irreplaceable. Being dangerous starts with commitment. It is the decision to go all in on your growth, to take your skills seriously, to refuse to settle for good enough. It means dedicating yourself to constant improvement, always looking for ways to sharpen your abilities and expand your knowledge. Dangerous people don't just do the minimum. They push beyond limits, testing themselves, refining their craft until they reach a level that sets them apart. They do not rely on luck. They rely on preparation. They do not fear challenges. They seek them out because they know that every challenge makes them stronger. Dangerous people are those who refuse to be controlled by fear. Most people let fear dictate their choices. They fear failure, so they avoid taking risks. They fear judgment, so they hold back. They fear discomfort, so they stay in the same place, never growing, never evolving. But the dangerous person understands that fear is a signal, not a stop sign. They push through fear. They take bold action despite uncertainty. They trust in their ability to adapt, to figure things out, to handle whatever comes their way. This makes them incredibly powerful because while others hesitate, they move forward. While others wait for permission, they create their own opportunities. Being dangerous also means developing resilience. The world will test you. Life will throw obstacles in your path. People will doubt you, criticize you, and try to bring you down. But when you are dangerous, you do not crumble under pressure. You do not let setbacks define you. You take every hardship, every failure, and every rejection as fuel to push forward. Dangerous people are those who have been through the fire and come out stronger. They do not break. They adapt. They do not retreat. They recalibrate and come back even better. One of the key traits of a dangerous person is decisiveness. In a world where people hesitate, overthink, and second-guess themselves, the person who moves with certainty stands out. Dangerous people do not waste time waiting for the perfect moment. They create momentum by taking action. They trust their instincts, backed by their preparation and competence, and they make bold moves that set them apart from the masses. A dangerous person is also someone who refuses to be dependent on others for their success. They do not wait for someone to rescue them, to hand them opportunities, to validate them. They take control of their own destiny. They build skills, they develop self-reliance, and they create opportunities for themselves. They understand that power comes from preparation, and that true freedom comes from the ability to stand strong on their own. To become dangerous, you must embrace discomfort. Growth does not happen in the comfort zone. The most dangerous people are those who consistently put themselves in situations where they are challenged, where they are forced to adapt, where they are required to level up. They do not avoid hard things. They seek them out. They know that struggle is the price of greatness and that every time they push through difficulty, they become stronger, sharper, and more formidable. Finally, being dangerous means having an unshakable sense of purpose. It is not just about personal success. It is about making an impact. Dangerous people do not just chase success for themselves. They use their competence, their confidence, and their influence to change the world around them. They are leaders, innovators, and game changers because they refuse to settle for anything less than excellence. When you commit to becoming dangerous, everything changes. You move differently. You think differently. You no longer shrink yourself to fit into the expectations of others. You no longer wait for permission to chase your goals. You become the kind of person who makes things happen, who creates, who leads, who dominates in their field. You become someone who is respected, not because of what you say, but because of what you have built, what you have achieved, and the way you carry yourself. The world needs more dangerous people, people who are skilled, confident, resilient, and relentless in their pursuit of excellence. The question is, will you choose to be one of them? Will you step up, sharpen your skills, face your fears, and develop yourself to the point where you are undeniable? Because once you do that, once you become truly dangerous, nothing and no one can stop you. Growth is an obsession. It is not something you do occasionally or when it is convenient. It is a way of life. Those who truly succeed, those who rise above mediocrity and become world-class in their field, do so because they are relentless in their pursuit of improvement. They are not satisfied with being good. They want to be great. And even when they become great, they continue to push forward, refusing to plateau, always looking for the next level. Most people stop growing the moment they achieve a certain level of competence. They reach a point where they are good enough, and then they settle. They get comfortable. They stop learning, stop refining their skills, and stop pushing themselves. But the best of the best never stop growing. They understand that success is not a destination. It is a process. It is a lifelong commitment to becoming better, sharper, more knowledgeable, and more effective. An obsession with growth requires a deep sense of curiosity. The most successful people are students of life. They ask questions. They seek out knowledge. They study those who have come before them, learning from their successes and failures. They are constantly reading, listening, experimenting, and refining their understanding of their craft, their industry, and the world around them. They are not passive observers. They are active participants in their own development. The difference between someone who grows consistently and someone who stagnates is mindset. Those who are obsessed with growth have a growth mindset. They believe that their abilities are not fixed, but can be developed through effort and learning. They embrace challenges because they know that struggle leads to strength. They are not afraid of failure because they see it as a lesson, not as a reflection of their worth. They actively seek out feedback, even when it is uncomfortable, because they know that honest criticism is one of the fastest ways to improve. One of the hallmarks of those obsessed with growth is their discipline. They do not rely on motivation alone because motivation is fleeting. Instead, they build systems and habits that ensure they are constantly improving regardless of how they feel. They schedule time for learning. They practice consistently, even when they do not feel like it. They wake up each day with a commitment to becoming at least 1% better than they were yesterday. Growth also requires a willingness to step outside of comfort zones. The most successful people do not stay where it is safe and easy. They push themselves into situations where they are challenged, where they must stretch their abilities, where they might fail. They know that discomfort is a sign of progress. If something is difficult, it means they are growing. If they feel fear, it means they are moving into new territory. Instead of avoiding these feelings, they lean into them, understanding that every breakthrough is preceded by discomfort. A crucial part of growth is surrounding yourself with the right people. No one grows in isolation. The fastest way to level up is to be around those who challenge you, inspire you, and push you to be better. The best of the best are intentional about who they spend time with. They seek out mentors, coaches, and high-achieving peers who elevate their thinking and hold them to a higher standard. They avoid environments that breed complacency and instead immerse themselves in spaces that demand excellence. Those obsessed with growth also take extreme ownership of their progress. They do not make excuses. They do not blame external circumstances for their lack of improvement. They do not wait for someone else to push them forward. Instead, they take full responsibility for their development. They recognize that no one is coming to save them, and no one is going to force them to grow. Here, it is up to them to take initiative, to seek out learning opportunities, and to put in the effort required to improve. Another critical aspect of growth is the ability to adapt and evolve. The world is constantly changing. Industries shift, technology advances, and what worked yesterday may not work tomorrow. Those who are obsessed with growth do not cling to outdated methods. They are always learning, always experimenting, always looking for new and better ways to do things. They are flexible, open-minded, and willing to pivot when necessary. But perhaps the most important thing about growth is that it is a choice. Every day you have a choice. To stay the same or to get better. To coast or to push forward. To remain comfortable or to challenge yourself. No one can force you to grow. You have to want it. You have to decide that you will never settle, that you will never stop learning, that you will always strive for more. The people who achieve greatness in life are not necessarily the most talented, the smartest, or the luckiest. They are the ones who commit to continuous improvement. They are the ones who wake up every day determined to be better than they were yesterday. They are the ones who refuse to let comfort, fear, or laziness hold them back. So ask yourself, are you obsessed with growth? Are you constantly learning, evolving, and pushing yourself to improve? Or are you settling for good enough? Because the truth is, the choice you make today will determine where you end up tomorrow. Growth is not an accident. It is not something that happens by chance. It is a decision, a commitment, a relentless pursuit. And those who embrace it, those who make it a way of life, become the ones who rise above, who stand out, and who ultimately achieve greatness. Execution over excuses is the defining trait of high achievers. It separates those who dream from those who do. Most people have big goals, great ideas, and endless aspirations, yet they never make meaningful progress. Why? Because they prioritize excuses over execution. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect conditions, or the perfect plan before they take action. But the truth is, perfection is an illusion. If you want to succeed at anything in life, you must learn to execute relentlessly, regardless of circumstances, emotions, or external challenges. Execution means taking action even when you don't feel like it. It means getting up and doing the work even when you're tired, uninspired, or uncertain. It's easy to act when motivation is high, but true execution happens when you show up consistently, no matter how you feel. Most people let their emotions dictate their actions. If they're not in the mood, they procrastinate. If they're overwhelmed, they delay. If they're uncertain, they hesitate. But those who execute understand that success isn't about feelings. It's about discipline. They take action even when it's uncomfortable. The biggest enemy of execution is the excuse mindset. Excuses are seductive. They allow you to rationalize inaction. They make failure feel acceptable. But every excuse is a self-imposed limitation. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough experience. I'm not ready yet. These are the lies people tell themselves to justify staying in their comfort zone. The truth is, you will never feel completely ready. You will never have perfect conditions. The best time to start is now, with whatever you have, wherever you are. The people who achieve greatness are the ones who take action despite uncertainty. They trust themselves to figure it out along the way. Execution requires speed. Too many people overthink, overanalyze, and wait for certainty before they act. They spend hours planning, researching, and preparing, but they never actually take the first step. High achievers understand that speed matters. They don't wait until everything is perfect. They move fast, adjust as they go, and refine through action. They understand that execution is messy. They embrace mistakes as learning experiences. They know that momentum is built through movement, not endless planning. Another key aspect of execution is taking responsibility. People who struggle with execution often blame external factors for their lack of progress. They blame their circumstances, their upbringing, their lack of resources, or the economy. But the truth is, no one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you success. You must take full ownership of your actions, results, and outcomes. When you take responsibility, you eliminate excuses because you recognize that everything is within your control. You may not control every external factor, but you always control your response, your effort, and your persistence. Execution also requires resilience. Things will not always go according to plan. You will face obstacles, setbacks, and failures. Most people quit at the first sign of resistance. They start strong, but lose momentum when things get difficult. But true executors push through. They adapt, they adjust, and they keep going. They don't see failure as a stop sign. They see it as feedback. Every failure teaches them what doesn't work, bringing them one step closer to what does. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is simple. Those who succeed keep executing, even when things get tough. Another common excuse that prevents execution is the fear of judgment. People hesitate to take action because they worry about what others will think. They fear criticism, rejection, or looking foolish. But here's the reality. No one is paying as much attention to you as you think. Most people are too focused on their own lives to constantly judge yours. And even if they do judge, their opinions don't pay your bills or determine your future. The most successful people in the world are not the ones who played it safe to avoid criticism. They are the ones who took bold action, even when others doubted them. If you want to master execution, you must develop non-negotiable habits. Success isn't built on occasional bursts of effort. It's built on consistent, disciplined action. Set clear goals, break them down into daily actions, and commit to execution regardless of circumstances. Remove distractions, eliminate time-wasting activities, and create an environment that forces you to take action. Discipline yourself to do the hard things first. Hold yourself accountable. Make progress a daily requirement, not a random occurrence. Execution is the key to success in every area of life, whether it's fitness, business, relationships, or personal growth. Those who take action win. Those who wait, hesitate, or make excuses lose. There are no exceptions. The difference between the people who achieve extraordinary things and the people who stay stuck is simple: action. So the question is, are you going to be the person who talks about what they want, or the person who actually makes it happen? Are you going to be the person who waits for the perfect moment, or the person who creates momentum through action? Are you going to let excuses control your life, or are you going to execute your way to success? The choice is yours. And the answer is simple. Mastering self-discipline is the foundation of success. It is the ability to control your impulses, stay focused on your goals, and consistently do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Most people struggle because they rely too much on motivation, which is fleeting. Discipline, on the other hand, is reliable. It is what separates those who make real progress from those who stay stuck in cycles of inconsistency. If you can master self-discipline, you can master anything. The biggest challenge with discipline is that it often requires going against your immediate desires. The human brain is wired for comfort. It seeks pleasure, avoids pain, and prefers the path of least resistance. This is why so many people procrastinate, skip workouts, eat junk food, and waste time on distractions. Their short-term desires overpower their long-term goals. But high achievers understand that success is not about what feels good in the moment. It's about doing what is necessary, regardless of how they feel. Self-discipline starts with clarity. If you don't know exactly what you want and why it matters, it will be difficult to stay disciplined. You need a clear vision of your goals and a deep emotional connection to them. Ask yourself, why is this goal important to me? What will my life look like if I achieve it? What will it cost me if I don't? The stronger your why, the easier it becomes to stay disciplined. Once you have clarity, you need a structured plan. Discipline is not about willpower alone. It is about setting up systems that make success inevitable. Break your goals down into actionable steps. Create a schedule and stick to it. Remove unnecessary choices from your day so that your focus remains on execution. The more structured your life is, the less you have to rely on willpower. High performers don't just rely on discipline in the moment. They set up their environment to support their goals. One of the biggest obstacles to self-discipline is distraction. We live in a world full of endless entertainment, notifications, and instant gratification. Social media, streaming services, and other distractions are designed to keep you hooked. If you don't control your environment will control you. Discipline requires eliminating or minimizing distractions. Set boundaries with your phone. Create focused work sessions. Learn to delay gratification. If you can train yourself to prioritize long-term rewards over short-term pleasure, you will achieve what most people never do. Self-discipline is also about consistency. It's not about how hard you work on a single day. It's about how consistently you show up over time. Many people go all in for a short period and then burn out. They crash because they rely on motivation instead of habits. The key is to create routines that make discipline automatic. Whether it's working out, building a business, or mastering a skill, it's better to show up every day with moderate effort than to go all in sporadically. The most disciplined people make success part of their identity. They don't just try to be disciplined. They see themselves as disciplined individuals. Another critical aspect of discipline is mental toughness. There will be days when you don't feel like working, training, or pushing yourself. Your mind will try to negotiate with you, offering excuses to take the easy way out. But those who master discipline do not let their emotions dictate their actions. They override feelings of laziness, self-doubt, and fatigue by reminding themselves of their commitments. They don't give themselves the option to quit. They build the habit of doing what needs to be done, no matter what. Discipline also means holding yourself accountable. No one else is responsible for your success. If you are inconsistent, distracted, or unproductive, that is on you. Self-discipline requires radical honesty. You must be willing to call yourself out on your own excuses. Keep track of your progress. Set standards for yourself. If you fail to meet those standards, don't make excuses. Make adjustments. The most disciplined individuals are their own toughest critics because they hold themselves to a higher level of excellence. One of the best ways to strengthen self-discipline is through controlled hardship. Challenge yourself regularly. Push yourself out of your comfort zone. Engage in activities that test your willpower. Cold showers, intense workouts, fasting, or any practice that forces you to exert control over your impulses. The more you train discipline in small areas of your life, the stronger it becomes in bigger areas. Self-discipline is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Ultimately, discipline is freedom. It may seem restrictive at first, but in reality, it gives you control over your life. The undisciplined are slaves to their impulses. They procrastinate, fall into bad habits, and live in constant regret because they never reach their potential. The disciplined, on the other hand, are in command. They create their own future. They achieve their goals not because they are more talented, but because they are more consistent. So ask yourself, are you in control of your actions, or are your impulses controlling you? Are you making decisions based on long-term success? Your ability to dominate under pressure is what separates you from the rest. Most people crumble when the stakes are high. They let fear, doubt, and hesitation control them. But those who rise to the top are the ones who thrive in high-pressure situations. They stay composed, make clear decisions, and execute with precision, no matter what is happening around them. If you want to be successful, you cannot avoid pressure. You must learn to embrace it, control it, and use it to your advantage. They would rather stay in their comfort zone where there is no risk, no judgment, and no challenge. But the comfort zone is a dead zone. Nothing great comes from playing it safe. If you want to grow, you must put yourself in situations that force you to perform at your highest level. The key to dominating under pressure is mental conditioning. You must train your mind to stay calm and focused when others panic. Pressure itself is neutral. What matters is how you interpret it. Do you see it as a threat or as an opportunity? The best performers in the world, athletes, CEOs, military leaders, thrive under pressure because they have trained themselves to see high-stakes moments as a privilege, not a burden. They welcome the challenge because they know that pressure is where champions are made. One of the biggest reasons people crack under pressure is overthinking. When the moment arrives, they let doubt creep in. They question themselves, hesitate, and freeze. The solution: trust your preparation. When you have trained relentlessly, when you have put in the work, there is no need to overanalyze. You just execute. Think about the best athletes in the world. When they take the final shot or step into the ring, they are not second-guessing themselves. They rely on muscle memory, instincts, and preparation. They trust themselves to perform. Another critical skill for handling pressure is controlling your physiology. Your body reacts to high-stress situations with adrenaline, increased heart rate, and rapid breathing. If you don't control these reactions, they will control you. The best performers know how to regulate their breath, slow their heart rate, and stay relaxed under intense conditions. Simple techniques like deep breathing, controlled exhalation, and visualization can instantly shift you from panic to focus. If you can control your body, you can control your mind, and that gives you the edge when pressure is at its highest. Experience also plays a huge role. The more you expose yourself to high-pressure situations, the more comfortable you become in them. This is why the best competitors seek out challenges rather than avoid them. They want to be in the toughest situations because they know that's where they grow. If you want to master pressure, you must put yourself in uncomfortable situations regularly. Speak in front of large audiences. Compete against the best. Take on leadership roles. The more you face pressure, the more natural it becomes. Another way to dominate under pressure is to develop a routine for high-stakes moments. The best performers have rituals they follow before stepping into pressure situations. A fighter has a pre-fight routine. A speaker has a pre-speech routine. A CEO has a pre-meeting routine. These rituals create familiarity, which helps you stay calm and focused. When the moment arrives, you are not relying on emotion. You are relying on your system. Create a routine that gets you into the right mindset for every big moment in your life. Self-talk is also crucial. What you say to yourself in high-pressure situations determines how you perform. Weak people feed themselves negative thoughts. What if I fail? What if I mess up? What if I'm not good enough? This kind of self-talk kills performance. The best performers replace doubt with certainty. They tell themselves, I am prepared. I am in control. Your internal dialogue must reinforce confidence, not fear. Another important aspect of handling pressure is keeping perspective. Handling pressure is keeping perspective. Pressure feels overwhelming when you give it too much. When you make the moment bigger than it really is, you create unnecessary stress. But when you step back and remind yourself that it's just another opportunity to perform, you take control of the situation. Even the highest pressure moments, championship games, business deals, life-changing decisions are just events. They don't define you unless you let them. Keep your perspective in check, and the pressure loses its grip on you. Finally, the ultimate way to dominate under pressure is to redefine it. Stop seeing pressure as something to fear. See it as an opportunity to prove yourself. The greatest moments in history were created under immense pressure. The biggest breakthroughs, the most legendary performances, and the greatest victories all happened when the stakes were high. Pressure is a privilege. It means you are in the game. It means you are doing something that matters. The people who win are the ones who embrace the moment instead of running from it. So the next time pressure comes, don't shrink, don't panic. Step into it, own it. Take control of your mind, your body, and your focus. Remind yourself that you have trained for this, that you are built for this, that this is exactly where you are meant to be. Because in the end, pressure doesn't break you. It reveals you in the ones who learn to dominate under it.